With the World Cup in less than a year, I thought that it was a good idea to begin to look at the individual national teams and rank them, to see who the favourites will be, having in consideration the recent performances, the 2018 World Cup, the recent Euros and Copa America, and everything else that has happened, the qualifiers and etc. This won't be a breakdown of FIFA's ranking, because we all know how amazing it is. It will be instead my own analysis of who I think looks better right now, with the squad they have, the eye test and recent glory. Welcome to the JVM Football channel, where you can find game analysis, football history, individual performances, top 10s, etc. If you are interested and would like more football content like this, please subscribe to the channel. Today I'm going to go over the top 5 national teams in the world right now and rank them. Honourable mention to go to Portugal, Belgium and Spain. Portugal are still living off the glory from the 2016 Euros and Nations League, which are of course amazing feats, but time also plays a part in this. In the last two major national tournaments, Portugal have not made it past the round of 16, getting knocked out by Uruguay in the 2018 World Cup and underperforming massively in the 2020 Euros, losing in the round of 16 to Belgium. Portugal always come with high expectations into international tournaments, as of late at least. They have a very good young squad with key players that are arguably among the top 10 in the world: Cristiano Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes and Ruben Dias. Unfortunately for Portugal, 2 early exits and the poor performances they have been putting up just won't cut it. Belgium didn't make the cut as well, because although they have been the number 1 ranked team in the world for what seems like ages now, the golden generation has nothing to show for it, not even one final appearance, with the likes of Lukaku, De Bruyne, Hazard, Courtois and Mertens and etc. in the team. It's just not good enough. Finally we have Spain. Just 10 years ago, Spain were that one team no one wanted to play with, because 9 times out of 10 you'd lose in embarrassing fashion. Now, with a few legends retired, Spain are trying to cultivate the next bunch of superstars that will take the national team back to the glory days. They were close to making it into the top 5, especially after that Euros performance, managing to go all the way into the semi-finals, losing to the champions Italy. Talking about Italy, they are the first team to make it into the top 5. The European champions have done an amazing job to get back into the elite of world football. 3 years ago, they didn't even qualify to the World Cup, but this year they put up a memorable performance to win the Euros with a very young and talented squad. In terms of recent accomplishments, we have exactly that, the Euros, but Italy has also been playing well during the qualifiers. Much credit should be given to Mancini and his vision to bleed the national team with young players, which has worked perfectly. He couldn't have had a more perfect turnout, and in my opinion, this won't be the end of it. Italy have a young squad with too much talent, and even worse than that, experience. If Italy hadn't won the tournament the way they did, I don't think they would be on the list, but these young players managed to come back in the final to win, in my opinion, against a more talented English squad that was let down because Southgate didn't want to show his teeth out. Donnarumma is already one of the best goalkeepers in the world and won the player of the tournament. Locatelli was impressive in the group stage and whenever he played after that in the knockout stage, and has just made the move to the Italian giants Juventus, which will allow him to grow until the World Cup. Chiesa looked fantastic. It will be interesting to see how he performs now when the other teams already know what he's about. Barella was also phenomenal, fitting in very well with some of the best midfielders in the world, Jorginho and Verratti. And these are just the young players. Insigne will come back, Verratti and Jorginho will come back, Bonucci and Chiellini may stay for one more dance, etc. When it comes to the key player, well, I wasn't able to choose one. I had to pick Donnarumma and Chiesa. Chiesa is among the best young talents in football right now, a table below Mbappe and Haaland, I would say. It will be interesting to see if he can hit that level this season and how it will impact him going into the World Cup. I had to choose Donnarumma as well because he is, in my opinion, and considering recent performances, the best goalkeeper in the world, and he's only 22 years old. The future is looking very bright for Donnarumma. To be honest, I wanted to put Italy a little higher up, but not qualifying for the World Cup really hurt them in the end. This is a very exciting squad, and due to the young ages, I can only see this as the beginning of something very special. Next up we have Argentina. Argentina, just like Italy, are a team who had been struggling over the last decade. Maybe not to the same degree, but still struggling. They went all the way to the 2014 World Cup final but lost to Germany. They hadn't done anything special in the Copa America tournaments until now, and they lost the 2018 World Cup to the eventual champions France. However, this year, they did amazingly to win the Copa America. The Argentinian squad is stacked as always, but I feel that they won't be here this time next year. I think Argentina need to bring in a new bunch of young players. Messi is 34 years old already, Di Maria is 33, and Dybala, who was supposed to be the next one up in the national team, is 27 years old. Nonetheless, Argentina did well for themselves during the Copa America. They are higher than Italy because once again, they didn't qualify for the 2018 World Cup, and Argentina have Lionel Messi. I don't want to be that guy that picks the best player in the team as the player to watch, but it's pretty much hard not to when that same player is the best player in the world. Messi is my player to watch for Argentina. Messi is 34 years old and doesn't look like he has any plans to slow down. He has just recently moved to PSG to join forces with Mbappe and Neymar to go for a run at the Champions League, and whatever comes out of that will impact how Messi goes into the World Cup, which will then have an impact on how Argentina play. Messi is the common denominator in this Argentinian squad. When he plays well, the team thrives. When he isn't in that Messi zone, the team struggle considerably. When it comes to the eye test, I think Argentina pass it. I of course mentioned Di Maria, Messi and Dybala, but I think it is important not to forget about the likes of Lo Celso, Paredes, Martinez, Gonzalez, all who also played extremely well during the Copa America. Argentina have done well for themselves this summer. My only fear is that the defense is not good enough, especially if they go against the likes of France, England, Italy, Portugal, etc. Next up is Brazil. Although Brazil lost in the final to Argentina, I still have them over them. This is because 1. I think Brazil have a better, more balanced squad, and 2. Ever since the World Cup, Brazil have been performing extremely well. At least in terms of major national tournaments, Brazil won the 2019 Copa America, went all the way to the 2021 Copa America final, and the young squad won the Tokyo Olympics gold medal. As football fans, we rarely give any importance to the Olympics, mainly due to the fact that the big names are not there. But even so, this was a time when the young Brazilians proved themselves and gained much needed experience. This same experience that they will take into the tournament. The Brazilian squad is also looking very strong. Neymar of course doing Neymar things, but you then have Casemiro who keeps things tidy in the middle of the park, a great / reliable goalkeeper in Anderson. In the defense you used to have Thiago Silva who had much needed experience, and Militao and Marquinhos. You then also have Paqueta, Richarlison, Vinicius, Firmino, Jesus, Alexandro. This team is strong all around. They really just need direction. I mean, this is what most Brazilian squads need because the talent is always there. Just like Argentina, I have to be that guy who picks the best player in the team as a player to watch, and that is Neymar. Time is running out for Neymar. In my opinion, he is already great and doesn't have to prove much more. However, I am sure that he wants this World Cup. This may be his last proper run at it. Neymar is hungry for it. If the Brazilian ace can do it for Brazil, then it would be something truly amazing to watch. I don't know, this may just be the fanboy inside of me speaking, or the hopeful football fan, but Neymar is, in my opinion, the player to watch because he will be coming into this tournament as hungry as ever. In terms of the eye test, well, it is Brazil. There is no eye test. The day a Brazilian squad needs to go through an eye test, then I'll stop watching football. But in all seriousness though, Brazil have been doing very well for themselves. They have been winning, and by doing so giving much needed experience to the young player. So yeah, they pass it. Coming in at second place, we have France. France is still, in my opinion, one of the best teams in world football. Yes, there were big expectations coming into the tournament and they didn't particularly deliver on them, but still, no one can tell me with a straight face that France doesn't have one of the most talented squads in football. Their most recent accomplishments include of course the 2018 World Cup, which I have called in the previous video the most prestigious trophy in football. This early Euros exit is a bummer, but they lost in the penalties. It wasn't like they were outclassed by Switzerland. France of course have the promising Kylian Mbappe, Paul Pogba, Benzema is back, Griezmann, who although hasn't been himself ever moving to Barcelona, is still capable of having a huge impact. They then still got Kante, Varane, Koeman, Lemar, etc. France is still one of the best teams in the world. My player to watch is none other than Kylian Mbappe. Let's be honest for 1 second. Mbappe had a bit of a stinker during the tournament, and I think that it was good that he did. He needed it. He needed to be brought back down to planet Earth. I'm not saying that he is arrogant or anything, but when you have so many people telling you that you are the next this, the next that, it can be a little bit overwhelming. All great athletes go through adversity, and Mbappe has just been through that. I'm not saying that he will never have another bad performance, but when you look at the great athletes in team sports, whether it is Michael Jordan before the 90s, Ronaldo before 2008, Messi in 2014, Mahomes last year, you need to be brought down to bring yourself back up even stronger. And Mbappe will show that not only during the season, but also in the biggest stage in sports. He will take France far, at least I hope so. I'm not trying to jinx anything. In terms of the eye test, France passed it as well. They could have been number 1, but I don't put them over England. England is my number 1 team in the world right now. I think that they have one of the best squads in the world with the most attacking talent, and over the past few seasons they have been placing high when it comes to major international tournaments, making it into the semi-finals of the 2018 World Cup, following that up by another semi-final appearance in the Nations League, and then this year making it all the way into the final against Italy, where although they lost, they were winning for a big portion of the game, and would have won if Southgate showed his teeth. The English squad is the most talented offensively. I take this as a fact and not as my own opinion. The squad is amazing going forward. It's just a shame that they play defensive football first. Harry Kane leading the line, Jack Grealish, Foden, Rashford, Sterling, Sancho, Mount, Saka, Calvert-Lewin, and a pretty solid defensive-minded midfield with a steady defense. Although I don't like the defensive football England plays, I also understand that it is quite necessary, but at the same time, not that defensive. It's hard to pick a player to watch for this tournament, but I'm going to go for Marcus Rashford. Again, it was not easy to pick a player, and the reason why I picked Rashford and not a Kane or Sterling or Grealish or even Foden is because we didn't really see Marcus play during this European Championship. He was injured for the most part of it, and when he did play, it was scarce minutes. Rashford needs a tournament to prove himself, to show that he is in the same league as Mbappe and Haaland. I think that when he is hot, he is. Let's not forget how he finished as the top scorer of the Champions League group stage last season. United did get knocked out, but not before Rashford scored 6 goals in 6 games. If Rashford can recover well and get himself back in that form, then England are one step closer into winning the World Cup. In terms of the eye test, England pass it, not with flying colours like Italy or Brazil, but they have shown they can do it. It is just now up to Southgate to find the balance between a fluid offensive attack and the excellent defensive form England displayed at the Euros, suffering only 1 goal. Thank you very much for watching the video into the end. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more game analysis, football history, individual performances, top 10s, etc. This is the beginning of something special, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribed and helped me to grow this channel.